we first started motoring the boat, we didn't know how far we could get with it. We had no idea.
No clue.
No clue. And in the beginning, Patrick was like, okay, I want to leave early in the morning because, I want to make sure that, we've got enough of the solar to get us there.
Absolutely.
Don't use any like excess power.
Switch off the microwave. Don't boil that kettle again.
It's like, do you really need a cup of coffee?
Yes, I do.
And then we switched over to, it's 11. The battery is full. Let's,
I love that.
Let's do some vacuuming for fun,
So you guys stayed together through the no power time. Leslie, I think that's one of the very few things that she would be like, I'm out, as if there was no power consumption at all, only motoring.
So I think partly of why Patrick decided to go full solar, one of the reasons, his first reason was that he had built electric bicycles and electric scooters before, and he understood it, where he would have to learn how to look after diesel.
Uh-huh.
But I think his primary reason was that he wanted to make this as comfortable as possible for me. Because I'm not a natural sailor. It was never my dream to live on a boat, but I wanted adventure. So he made this as basically the perfect tiny house for us.
That's so cool.
And we have everything we could possibly want in a small apartment, we have on board.
What are we talking about there? Run through that with me. So we've got everything we want, like a tiny house, which it's a solar-powered, self-sustaining, like completely off-grid type situation. But what are you talking about? What are those creature comforts?
So, first of all, for us, we pretty much don't have to limit our water that much. We do sort of like normal sailor showers. We can switch it off and etc. Which actually, everybody in their apartments should be doing. We should be doing that. Saving water.
Right. I grew up in California where water rationing is a thing, and you turn your shower off when you're kind of washing yourself, and then you turn it back on to rinse off. So it's kind of a similar type deal.
Yeah. So, and then we've got, but because we've got a water maker, we really don't have to economize that.
We just don't like the noise. The more water you use, the longer you've got to live with the noise.
The pump is running. Yep, got it.
But we have a washing machine.
Yeah, you have to wash it.
We have a washing machine, and then we also have our marriage saver, which is the dishwasher.
The marriage saver.
So funny enough, the dishwasher actually, if you're using the sink, the dishwasher is going to be more but Patrick likes to feed the fish, so when it's lovely weather and we're in a beautiful place and it's beautiful clear water, he likes to actually wash the dishes in the salt water and fresh water rinse. We didn't like the idea of having gas on our boat.
Okay. Even for like cooking or anything.
Exactly. We've heard some sort of terrible stories of people poisoning. And,
gas is heavier than air. It's a boat. It sinks to the bottom and there's no escape route for it. And then one spark and you're back to the
let's not have exploding boats. That's great.
Yeah, we bought the boat with the gas cylinder sitting inside the boat as well. So if it had any leak, you shouldn't have it just being outside an invented one.
Wow. So, we've got a little induction stove, and, we have our microwave, we have, like you heard, our hot water. Patrick imagined, because I'm a hairdresser, he imagined that I would be doing sort of lots of Zoom calls where I was teaching people remotely.
Yeah.
And he thought he needed to be able to power my electrical tools as I moved. So he made sure that
curling irons, blow dryers,
run the blow dryer for unlimited time, and that's.
I need my curling iron blow dryer all the time, right?
And,
we waste electricity every. In summer now, this batteries are full of 9.
So when you say waste, you mean there's potential power that you don't really
collect that we can't collect. Yeah, we can't make use of.
Because what Patrick did, which was different, what many people have done, is Patrick has more solar powers than he does batteries.
I love that.
So it's a little bit different thing.
Yeah, I don't have an electric boat. I have a solar power.
Did you hear that? I love that. It's so good.
So we typically arrive at our destination with full batteries because I set the motor speed to what the panels can produce, not the speed I want to go.
Brilliant.
So Typically we go everywhere at 4.5 to 5 knots, which is what the panels produce. Actually, it's a little bit less than the panels produce.
Fantastic.
But if it's a cloudy day, then I'll slow down a bit. Then I might only go 4 knots because we're not producing as much. And I consider my batteries my reserve tank.
Love it.
So if there's an emergency and I need to go full power for an hour, the batteries will do it. Or if I need to go 5 knots for 5 hours, the batteries will do it.
Yeah.
But we run on solar.
Let's cycle back to, as we kind of draw this to a close, and I want to hear from Leslie, because along Candace's point, she said something that made me think of what you said too, and it was these are deal breakers for the ladies, right? Or at least these two ladies. I don't want to put I don't like broad stroke statements, but for these two ladies, they've both confirmed something that my wife said is she was coming around to the idea of, am I actually going to jump on this boat with him? Oh no, am I doing this? And that was the need for what? The need for, she said there was, what did you call it, a marriage saver?
Marriage saver, the dishwasher.
Why is that such a big deal?
I don't know. I mean, the dishwasher for me is going to help with not needing to have things all over the counter, and keeping it neat and clean, and then you have peace. And
I think we're going to have a war in the comments, guys versus girls, or girls, whoever's going against whoever, the pro dishwasher team versus the anti-dishwasher team. I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Which one wins?
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen on the wins. They had that vote.
Yeah.
Did they really? Oh, I got to go see that episode and watch the comments. You guys need to see it too.
Jason was the dishwasher, and he got replaced. Yeah.
I do remember that. That's right. Oh my God, that's so hilarious. So we agree here together that the dishwasher's a need.
Mm-hmm.
A need. It's a need.
And the washing machine.
Yeah,
I think what's really important is when you're living in such a tiny space, be it a tiny home or a camper van or a boat, you have to have dedicated spaces for things. And I think sometimes when it comes to men and women, we prioritize different things. And I know that I am really, really stereotyping here, but I know for a lot of women, we do like to have dedicated places, and we feel that if there is clutter, we feel like there's chaos in our lives. And that's one of the things that I like about our boat, is that we do have dedicated spaces for things, and which is possibly not the best, but we do have cupboards that close.
Yeah.
We can hide things behind cupboards, and that makes a massive
So it's not
difference.
shelving, it's put it away kind of
Exactly.
thing.
Which when it comes to things like ventilation and mold, isn't amazing. We haven't had that much of a problem with it.
Not in the cupboards, yeah.
Not in the cupboards, thank God. But it can also, it's obviously a weight thing.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. I mean, like when you're working on a boat, if you do one boat project, the entire boat becomes a mess for a period of time. And you've got to sort of always like pedal back and like, declutter and etc. Because
I feel like your experiences like speak to my soul, because we're doing all those projects all at once, and it's like the boat is a hot mess. And thank God we're on the hard. I can't imagine doing this number while trying to do the projects. That would be crazy chaos. So
wait, Candace just said something that triggered. She commented on mold, and I am picking her brains right now, which I think is going to help some people. One of the things that they talked about was an airlift carbon padding.
Wait. Airlift carbon padding. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I was just asking, I don't know if you want to say something about it, but then I was just asking Candace, what is something else that I need to know, and maybe somebody else needs to know who's just getting started, that's going to help as far as dealing with mold? Help us out. What's a must?
So we recently found out that baby wipes work pretty well in mold. But I mean, it's
baby wipes.
Baby
All
wipes.
right.
And one of the best things to get rid of mold would be a combination of first spraying with vinegar. And it can't be, which vinegar is it again?
It's going to be, I don't know, your white spirit vinegar is what they call it, yeah.
So you first do the spirit vinegar, you leave that on for half an hour, then you wipe it off, and then you go in with your bleach.
Okay, so first spray with white spirit vinegar, leave it on for half an hour.
Half an hour, and then you go and make your beach.
Awesome.
Apparently, even super yachts smell like vinegar.
Oh.
And
if you haven't seen the episode where Patrick talks about this being a super yacht, watch it. It's must-see TV.
And then Leslie was asking me, like, what else do I need? Like, give me the little tips. One of the things that we found, which was an absolute sort of comfort changer, was we got ourselves an electric blanket.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Not a...
Did you see that? It's like everybody, I'm looking at you. Like, she looked at me, she looked at her, whatever.
So back in South Africa, the electric blankets that we have, you put the electric blanket on your mattress and then you put a sheet over
Oh,
it.
no way.
Okay? But the electric blankets that we managed to get here, you obviously know that kind of blanket. It is like a wonderful Sherpa kind of blanket that you plug in. It goes over you. That was amazing.
It's probably the only limit as to what I can't run on this boat is I can't run an electrical heater.
Okay, tell me all about it, because when we went out to Sol Seeker the first time, it was a proof of concept moment, and I hooked up the battery in a temporary space, and this one here is pretty cold natured. This one here is pretty hot natured. Those two, fire and ice, you know what I mean? Like, goes together wonderfully in ways, but then scenarios where you want to run a heater and it's sweating temperature for me, and she's going, I need it to get hot. That thing killed our battery.
Yeah. So, I mean,
annihilated it.
2 kilowatts. So,
Yeah.
I mean, enough power to get the boat moving at nearly 5 knots. But in winter, when the sun doesn't come up a lot, you don't make as much fun. You can't run one of those. You can run for an hour or two, but it's not going to change the temperature of the boat. Most boats run a diesel heater, air diesel heater.
Which we don't have.
Right.
We could have had, we don't have. But we found the electric blanket, which draws 160 watts of power, and we were toasty.
So it's all about sort of like regulating yourself. So you're obviously not going to be putting on this is I'm just reminding Patrick tries to live winter dressed like this.
Yeah.
So it's like putting on your sweatpants.
Yes, sir. I want the high five on that one. Yes, sir.
Then your electric blanket on top of you and you're toasty.
Okay, no, quick story. I have to say, before we married years ago, I used to sleep with an electric blanket regularly. And he said,
that thing's got to go.
That's gotta go. It's back!
Oh, no!
It's the only thing you can do outside.
Oh, I'll be sleeping on the hammock.
The whole boat, you heat yourself.
In fact, when we would take it out, the dogs would do a little happy dance. So we'd the blanket's coming out. And we actually started We started off our the first season when we bought it with a double, right?
A double bed electric blanket.
Double bed, and then it broke.
No, that didn't break.
The truth is, Patrick broke it.
Then we realized we wanted a king size. We loved it so much.
Oh, my.
We wanted a bigger one. In fact, we loved it so much that we gifted one to Patrick's mom.
Oh, let's go. That's nice. Does she love it?
We don't know.
It hasn't been winter since we got it.
Oh.
So I'll let you know.
Well, here's the thing. Leslie uses electric blankets, heaters, all that in the dead of summer. So I am going to have some sweating to do, but it's worth it to get her on the boat, baby. It's going to be awesome.
Basically, I told Candace before we got married that I would be living on a boat one day, and if she wanted to live with me, that's where we'd live for a while.
Oh, Candace remembers it differently.
So she couldn't back out.
Thank you for watching this conversation about solar sailing. In upcoming episodes, the crews of Sailing Electra and Sol Seeker continue sharing practical experiences, tips for success, and their inspiration for pursuing what once seemed impossible. Please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to both channels and hit the alert button so you don't miss a thing.